collective league action here, actually. Week 2 between Volatile Gaming attacking first on Clubhouse against Silent Insanity. Don't know much about Silent Insanity. I know a good amount about Volatile Gaming. Volatile, pretty well established team. Not very strong, just being honest here. And just a very standard sort of ranked-esque playstyle, I think would be the best way to describe them. Going into this matchup, Volatile Gaming has 3 points. They are in a 5-way tie for the top spot. Meanwhile, at 7th is Silent Insanity with 1 point after an overtime loss in the first week to, I believe, Elite Esports. So, sorry.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Let's get to it. In terms of, to talk about Silent, I don't know much about them, frankly. I have heard of most of their players. You know, I'm glad to see Tom back. I've heard of Soul. I have also heard of Keone. I think I've seen him play a couple times. Not very often, though, unfortunately.
Attackers have discovered the location of the bomb.
All right.
10 seconds to go.
But we'll have to see how this goes. To talk about the bans very quickly before we get into this opening round here. Very standard. Nothing too surprising. I suppose somewhat of a surprise in that the Ace was banned instead of a Maverick possibly, or a Thatcher. But, you know, just that standard sort of hard reach ban on attack by the defending team. Jackal ban, Classic Comfort ban. Interesting to see that the Cade wasn't banned in response. The Capcan instead. That very good operator, does not bring very powerful utility. Sure, he's great at punishing, but I don't think he's very good. And then the Valkyrie ban, another Classic Comfort ban, another great operator with a pretty decent gun, and with those black eye cameras that can provide a lot of really helpful intel. Zerch will take down Silence. Killer, however, able to use it in melee hole. Take down Zerch, trade his teammate out, but alas, Silence is dead, so might want to shift strategies here, possibly. Now, Keone's going to take down Cold-Hearted, using that TCSG for pretty good purpose. They're able to get his team into a man advantage again, and at this point, just going to try and hold down the line here. He's on lower garage, interestingly enough. I don't know why he hasn't moved to rafters. He does have some support there. Does not have barbed, which I think would be pretty helpful for him. You know, admittedly, Chronic does have barbed. Don't know why they didn't utilize that. He's going to take down, he's going to lower, not kill him, but certainly lower Sank there, that Thermite. So I want to be a bit careful here, and seemingly going to just rotate back at this point to that Raptor spot. Probably the best choice for him. He does have that ADS to help cover him against frags. But at this point, I don't think that frags are really the main issue for him. Just has to worry about pressure coming in from that garage door, and possibly from the open hole below. Hello, Psych. Now, as you can see, just trying to wait this out. He's probably going to be the real key player for the rest of this round. Is if he can manage to clutch this up, or at the very least, if he can really stifle this push here that's developing from Volatile, then he's going to really help out the rest of the site, the rest of the team in the later stages of this round. Keone taking some heavy pressure now, as Sek's going to try and rotate in. Downed him, however, Impulse able to trade him out. Low time, though. They need to get moving quickly here. Down is Impulse. Spotted by Soul and able to capitalize on just some lack of awareness. 150 is the last one left here. Seg is down. I don't know if they will be finished off there by Soul. So it's up to just the Twitch here. Killer will run out and finish this round up here for Silent Insanity, getting the opening round here against Volatile Gaming. a bit of a messy opening round there for Volatile. It just didn't seem to be a whole lot of order in what they were going at. You know, they opened up plat wall, which would have been really helpful for pressuring Keone once he was forced up into rafters, but they never really played it. In fact, I think that it ultimately kind of came back to bite them with that last kill. They didn't really have besides that, they didn't really have much moving there. They didn't win a whole lot of gunfights, which obviously is not very helpful when you're trying to win this game. Just regardless of the situation, you have to win gunfights in order to win this game. And there was not a whole lot of movement from them. You know, it seemed like their push didn't really get off the ground. It was rather one-dimensional. It moved rather slowly, and so they ended up getting pretty quickly stuffed there. At least in my opinion. Now, Insanity going to go for a defense here of basement, and something that's important to point out, we saw in the last round, we'll see it again here, is Keone has this Cade. Now, you know, Cade provides some really great denial with that Electro Claw there, but it's also noteworthy because he's probably the most consistent way for teams to defend these hatches. You know, they think they do have an Electro Claw prepped for that. I could be wrong. Yup. But you know, with the blue hatch as well as with this Moto hatch, there's not really a way to keep it closed besides either a roamer above or a roamer on it, or an evil eye, which none of which are very effective, I'd say. Second of all, hands of killer opening kill here for Silent Insanity, going to provide a pretty nice advantage. And that admittedly, you know, Cold Hearted is down to one charge, and they still have Zerch there as that Maverick with the blowtorch, but they want to probably be a bit more careful with that, considering that all they have right now, I think, is just Dirt Wall and Kitchen Hatch, which admittedly they could use to get an execute down. They don't necessarily need the other hatches, but I feel that it would be very helpful for allowing them to apply further pressure on the objective, even with it being open. If they don't pressure it, you know, even with it open, it's going to certainly make the opposing team uncomfortable really operating in that area. Impulse is going to take down Soul. I mean, basically just provided the finishing blow there. But as I was saying about the Cade of Keone, you know, there's not really a way to hold these hatches besides those options, which aren't great options, frankly, if you don't have a Cade. The Kitchen Hatch is the exception. You can impact trick it. I don't see a whole lot of teams impact tricking it. Nitro going to go out there from Keone. He doesn't get anything. Fortunately for him, he actually will be picked off from the hatch, courtesy of Coldheart, who's now dropped onto Arsenal, looking for the plant. Now, I don't know if Silent Insandy's aware of it. Chronic's gonna try and take him out. He does manage to down and finish him off. Well done, traded by Zerch. The 3v2 now. Gonna try and cover his flank here. Killer Tom does take him out. Zerch with a double kill. Silent's the last one left again. Outnumbered here. 1v3 situation, trying to cover this post plant. Impulse will find him, corners him. Finishes this round off here for Volatile Gaming, brings it to 1-1 for both teams. One sec, sorry. So, it's not a great round there for Silent Insanity. My apologies, Silent Insanity. I think the main problem was that they did not operate effectively off-site. They didn't really have a roam game. Admittedly, it's hard to really roam to deny this, but they didn't really force the attacking team. They didn't really force Volatile to slow down and try and clear that roamer. The roamer was just sort of there, and then once the roamer tried to punish them for ignoring the roam, just very quickly killed. So basically, a null roam there really hurt them. And then I think the other thing was that, you know, on those sort of near side areas, especially blue, just not great play there. I feel that they should have done a better job, at least attempting to hold it. But losing control of both floors, losing that roam game, and obviously the hatches, which it's hard to deny the hatches, to be frank. But losing those, coupled with not having control over blue, just sort of doing the round for them. Killer Tom gonna try and send out just a couple of pot shots, try and get something to move, but unfortunately didn't get anything. He's gonna just try and return back to site quickly. Heal after catching some stray bullets there, and we'll have to see how this goes. We're seeing a more pronounced this round, more pronounced roam presence from the defending team of Silent Insanity. We'll have to see how that affects how this round is played for them, as well as for Volatile, who are going to probably be trying to adjust to that. That's going to be 150 trying to take him out here. Knows where he's at. I think he was the one on the drone that got shot out there, and just trying to make this work here, but unfortunately just took a bit of chip damage in trying to win that gunfight. And Soul's going to continue to operate on the strip side, which I feel is a pretty great risk, because although there's not a Nomad or anybody with a Claymore, it's very easy to lock off that one side of the map, and I don't think that Soul really wants to use a Nitro to bust a hole in a wall. Probably not the best use of utility. 150 going to get caught there by Soul. Keone picks off Zercht, and now 5v3 situation has developed. 150 and Zercht out of the round, so not a whole lot of real fragging power left in terms of that front, as well as just not a lot of vertical. Admittedly, they still have Sek here, who's going to be trying to get these hatches open, and certainly has the utility necessary, but without the sledge, it's going to be a bit harder for them to operate on that kitchen side. Sek takes down Soul, training his teammate out there, and like I said, you know, that strip roam is basically just a suicide hold. You play it until you die, which is often before you get any real value out of it, lucky enough to get something. But without the Maverick as well, that does really limit how much they're able to really do on these hatches outside of what Sek has put down. Impulse is going to fall at the hands of Keone. Bit of an aggressive play here from the Cade of Keone. I don't really know what else say at this point, because it's basically just been him sort of running around the site and making things happen his way. Killer gets a kill there. Does actually fall to cold, traded out. Nitro is going to go out there courtesy of Silence, I believe. Now trying to clutch this round up here is Cold-Hearted on site, looking like it's going to be another win for Silent Insanity, trying to win the round, unfortunately shut down by Silence. And as this round comes to a close, it's going to be another advantage here for Silent Insanity, actually making a small, trading rounds. My apologies for a second, I forgot that they lost that previous round. So admittedly it's early, but as of right now, it's seemingly just these two teams alternating rounds, trading them off here so far.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Alright, now, back up to top floor here for Silent Insanity. Last time that they were on the site, they ended up winning it, primarily because of the play of Keone. You know, he really made an impact that first round, wasting a lot of time, wasting some utility, and getting frags. You know, he got that pick onto, I believe it was Zercht pretty early on, and then just continued to really bleed them out there. So if he can do that again, it's going to be really the ideal outcome here. We'll have to see how Volatile adjusts. I think that it's interesting for them to be running off of the Osa and onto Ayana here, and to add that as well, to add the Capitao. Now Capitao typically on this site is used to bust open a hole on the sort of top right corner of this wall, and then throw flame up past this window here, past Raptor's window, obviously onto the wall to stop a trigger. I don't see much of a use beyond that. I just don't think that it's a great choice, especially considering that they do still have this therm here. I think they're trying to get this opened up here. Fortunately, is mute jammed, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get it otherwise. So sends out the jammer and able to EMP unjams the wall and able to get that now open. So that's going to provide a pretty good benefit for them here. Cold-Hearted, I think he just Yeah, he just sent down one of his 2 can openers, one of his secondary harbor's charges, and it was very quickly taken down, courtesy of the Kate Electroclaw. Now going to send out to hold that second can opener and able to hold this angle here. And as you saw, he could effectively throw flames up onto the breach. Keone takes down Zerge for the first kill of this round, about a minute in. Sec going to trade him out, however. And I think Raptors is actually empty now. Impulse is downed, taken out by Killer Tom there. And this is going to be the real issue, is can Killer Tom hold up here? Going to be able to get a couple of shots there on Cold Heart. It lowers him, but so far he's holding steady, and that's going to be really important for Insanity in the second half of this round if they want to end up winning this here. Cold Heart, I think he's going to try and take a break. Nitro is going to go out, it appears. Misses. 150 is able to dodge that like a bullet. Trying to maybe get himself a frag here. Cold Hearted falls in the hands of Killer Tom. The Thunderbird able to pop off again here. Really doing some great work now for Sound Insanity. First smoke wave of 3 going to go out courtesy of Soul. About a minute left, just over, with 2 smoke waves. It's going to really stifle this push here by 150s in sec. They do have an air jab on that door, so that is going to provide them some security, but still, I would not readily ignore that. Killer going to actually fall in the hands of Sec. Bit of a risky play there from Sec. Think that he was actually spotted by Killer Tom first, but just unable to land those shots. And now Raptors is clear. They have a 2v2. 150's just brought it back to even here. He's on site, and now they can get this execute down all of a sudden. They lost Raptors. They lost some impact on the site there with that extra anchor. Soul sends out one of his frags. One of his smoke waves, my apologies. 150 takes down Chronic. It's post-clan, and Chronic just very quickly punished for trying to swing that without any real intel, any real idea that 150 was watching it. Sec trying to hold down the site now, and able to use that 5.7 to just finish him off. Sending out a hailstorm of bullets, able to finish him off, and what a comeback there, frankly, from Volatile Gaming. Who do I have winning? I'm not sure. This has so far been a pretty close match. Admittedly, it's only 2-2, so there's still plenty of time. But we'll have to see. I think that it could go either way at this point. We'll have to see if one team manages to break away, or if we see some emerging trends that favor one team or the other. But so far, it's just seeming like 2 teams pretty evenly matched. So, first time here we're going to see from Silent Insanity a bedroom hold. So far it's just looking like a really standard play setup from them, really. Just that classic counter-cast extension with the castle, extension into cons as well. It's just pretty much what is expected here. They've run out of reinforcements, unfortunately, because, I think because of that, primarily. Trying to see where else they put down some reinforcements. Down 4. Okay. Oh. What? Sorry, I'm not here trying to think through this. As Soul's gonna fall early here to Sec, gonna provide a pretty clear and pretty nice advantage for this attacking team. There's that mute is in play, but I don't think there's any mutes actually on the wall, and it's just covering the castle barricade. This is pretty clearly a botched hold from what I've seen. Admittedly, they still have plenty of time. Killer Tom's going to try and get some sort of frag there, courtesy of a melee hole and container, but really not enough to make something happen, as this jacuzzi wall's compromised. It's been less than a minute and the wall's wide open. Impulse takes down Chronic. It's going to provide some relief for the attacking team, removing that player over there. Keone is down and now out. Zerch gets a quick double kill. 1-2 punch, silence, and Keone out of the round, and Killer Tom falls in the hands of Sec. Gonna be a flawless round here for Volatile, and my oh my, what a sweep. I think this is the first time that we're seeing them take a lead here. Admittedly quite a tentative lead, but if they can hold on to that, they're going to be in really good position going into their defending half. You know, getting that 4-2 split on attack here, I would say, is ideal. But really a 3-3 split is pretty average. We'll have to see. Keone and the rest of Insanity are going, Silent Insanity, my apologies, are going down to basement here for this next play, and for this next round, this final round of the first half, and I'm curious to see how it goes. I mean, last time that we saw them play this site, it went pretty poorly for the attacking team. They essentially got shredded. They somehow managed to get themselves onto the site, but they really could not do much else from what I remember. They're 1-1 here at Silent Insanity, but I guess you could also say the same for Volatile Gaming. So it doesn't seem like this is a site that really, at least while Insanity defends, this isn't really a site that seems to favor one team over the other. So, one thing that's important to point out here is that if we're ignoring how the play is going here, we're ignoring the fact that we're seeing a lot of 1vx's and a lot of pretty big man deficits at the ends of these rounds instead of really close rounds. If we ignore that and just look at the stats here, it seems to be trending towards Volatile. Generally, it helps when you have teams that have a bit more even curve when it comes to getting those kills and contributing. You know, you have Zach with 6, Zerch with 5, and Impulse with 4, and then Cold and 150s both with 2. Meanwhile, you look at Insanity, and it's Keone and Killer Tom are sort of the standouts there with 6 and 5, and then you have 2, 1, and 1. So if Insanity can get some more contributions as Soul falls to the hands of Sec, I don't know why the Warden was in play, but he is very quickly taken out there, which is going to now provide a man advantage pretty early here for Volatile Gaming. But as I was saying, if they can get more contributions from Soul, which can lead, since he's the roamer, shouldn't you be having Killer or Keone on the roam, not a guy that has a 0.4 KD? I'm just saying. But if they can get more contributions from him and from Chronic and Silence, then they should be in a pretty good situation. One person drops blue, not spotted by Chronic. Easy kill for Zerts, traded out by Killer Tom, however, who will now make his way back into the objective. Still, however, outnumbered now, as the site is being pretty heavily pressured here. Only half the round remaining. And just not the best way to go out there, I suppose, for Chronic. Just definitely did not notice the player dropping hatch right in front of him. 150 takes down Keone. And there goes that second frag, so really have to just Killer Tom at this point. Taken down by Cold Hearted, and Impulse finishes off the round, takes down Silence. What a mess of a round, truly, for Silent Insanity. They will end up falling 4-2 deficit at the half. Checking the scoreboard at half, 7-6-3-5-3, 5-7-2-1-1. And that last round was not good for Silent Insanity, not a very good sign. Admittedly, at least they got a kill, but still, I mean, there's not a lot of contribution outside of Killer Tom. The roam, which was Soul, died early, didn't waste any time, didn't waste any drones, didn't waste any utility, was basically a non-factor. So they started out at a 4v5. Why even run a Warden, by the way? There's no use for Warden at this point. Volatile does not seem to have a real penchant for doing smoke plants, in which case a Warden is not very helpful. Plus, they didn't really use flashes, or Ying, or Blitz, or Glass, or Sense. There's no real use to him. Shouldn't be running a guy just because he has a gun or a shield. Specifically a gun. There's especially if you're not if you're not if you're not Killer Tom, who's out here going 7-5, helping really keep this team alive. And then after that, nobody really put up a fight on site. I mean, Chronic got very quickly dispatched. He didn't notice somebody dropping the hatch right in front of him. Even when Killer Tom got his butt back on the objective, tried to make an impact, tried to make something happen, he got one kill and then kind of just got stumped as the attacking team very quickly took over site, very quickly finished the round off here. So now looks like there's going to be a bandit trick courtesy of 150s. Impulse is down there, not out just yet, but did take some heavy damage there from Keone on the CC window. Curious why they haven't tried to really pressure out that bandit there. And okay, that's not good. So Silence just lost to both of the bandit tricks. I think now declaring victory here. 150 is going to put down his two other batteries. Admittedly, they need Chronic there. They need Chronic onto the... You're a bit late, Chronic. Cold-Hearted takes down Keone, gets the man advantage for his team. Just a really mistimed push here. Admittedly, they're now taking down all the utility there. They would be able to deny the... And he didn't even notice Impulse there on the stairs. What is even happening here for Silent Insanity? They just seem to be very much lacking. Zurch and Sek will get frags here on a Soul and Silence. This is just not looking good. Sek and heavily take damage courtesy of Chronic. However, Chronic falls. Killed by Sek. Killer, the last one left. Tom going to try and take this round back. Impulse falls. The hands of Killer Tom. Gonna try and watch this up. Caught there. Searched, lying in wait, and just finishes the round off pretty quickly. Gets his team a 5-2 lead. They are on a 4-round rally, mind you. And Silent Insanity is nowhere to be found. I don't know what's going on here for Silent Insanity. I mean, Chronic showed up to that wall. I don't think there's anybody even there to really deny him from getting to Lounge. I could be wrong. But he got there. The only problem was he got there so late that Silence was basically right next to him. Silence had already used both of his thermite charges. And so at that point, you know, open it up, have Silence or somebody hold it, and then put the can openers down. Because Chronic was the only one with hard breach left. He showed up late. They knew that there was a bandit tricker. At that point, use the vertical that you have. At least use frag grenades. I don't know if they even had frag grenades. But at that point, you know, use the buck. Send him below while you're trying to get all this done. And that way you can kill the bandit tricker. Because they're not coordinating, because there's not a lot of real interlocking and meshing in this Silent Insanity roster. Because of that, they're losing rounds here. And they're 1 round away from being put at match point. They are digging their own grave. I do wish to point out that since I believe round 6, maybe even earlier, I'm sorry to call them out, but Chronic, Silence, and Soul have not recorded a single kill in many rounds. I believe it has been at least 2, if not 3 rounds since any of them have gotten kills, which is just not the way to operate. Keone and Tom can't be the only people trying to get work done. It's not the way that you win a game. There needs to be at least some level of contribution from each member. Admittedly, you can have those star players that are going to go out and drop double digits for you and really do a lot of that frag work, as Cold-Hearted takes a bullet straight to the face of Chronic, and Chronic's now dead, so they don't really have a whole lot of vertical play left. They admittedly still have Soul and Silence with that hard breach, but they don't have any breach charges, they don't have any soft breach, so Chronic just kind of gets punished for laziness there. Just peeked that slowly and then ended up getting punished for it. Search takes down Silence.
Attackers have located a bomb.
One sec. Good, I'm gonna take a bit of damage there. Sec finds him, takes him out. One sec. We'll be back.